Thanks so much for agreeing to be interviewed.
No problem. I don't know how much I can offer you, but whatever I have, I'll be glad to offer.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, we basically had just seen your email about like evacuating for the hurricane that happened in Florida. And yeah, we kind of just thought it'd be interesting to get a little like backstory about that and kind of like how you've been helping with like the rebuilding in your community and stuff. But what part of Florida are you from?
It's on the Gulf Coast
Mhm.
in the Tampa region. I'm lives about 20 miles south of Tampa.
Oh wow. So that was kind of like
Almost direct hit. Yes.
yeah, yeah. So you had to evacuate, right?
I certainly did.
Um do you want to talk a little bit about what that experience was like from kind of like hearing about like how severe the hurricane was going to be and then having to evacuate?
Well, basically what happened, I knew the storm was coming in when I
Mhm.
left for the meeting in New York.
Mhm.
And so, but it didn't, they were saying it was, more like a bad tropical storm, wind and rain, things like that as well. Been through that a lot of times. That's no big thing. So I left.
Mhm.
So I get up in New York, and a day later, I guess it was, someone said, "Oh, what about that hurricane that's going to hit in Tampa?" I said, "What hurricane?" So all of a sudden, this tropical storm, which happens with nature, turned into a hurricane.
Mhm.
And then they're saying it's a category four, it's a category three. So we're talking about a big, big thing.
Mhm.
And all I can think about, I just left my trailer as I would leave going on a trip anywhere. I said, none of it was prepared for that kind of a storm. And I said, I can't stay here. I've got to go back and prepare because I had 2 days, I guess it was about 2 days. So anyway, I changed my ticket and came back. And then I really, listening to the report, it was getting more ominous and more ominous. It's going to be, a dead hit, and it's going to be a category four, winds 120 miles an hour or more, and that is quite significant. And I live in a mobile home, and they don't do well in heavy storms. So I thought to myself, I'm probably going to lose my home. The trailer's probably going to be blown away. And in anticipation of that, I said, I have to save as much as I can. So I did get an offer to for an empty apartment that was much further inland and away from the storm. So I said, okay, I'm taking that offer. And so I packed up virtually all of my clothes and all of my electronics, and then everything else that was kind of like a single item thing that was kind of non-replaceable, type of thing. So I packed all of that up, and I had a friend that had a truck, a big one, thank heavens. And we packed all of my stuff into his truck, and off I go. And said goodbye to my home and, kissed it goodbye. And I was very sorry to leave my plants behind, but I said, you're on your own, kiddos. I can't help you. There was only so much I could take. I have I have two kitties, so I had responsibility for them.
Mhm.
So I had to pack them up and all of their things also. So off we all went. And basically then it was kind of like preparing my mind really and my heart, if you would, to go back to nothing,
Mhm.
to go back to find the trailer blown away, essentially. And that's kind of what I did. I went and I camped out. This apartment was unfurnished, so fortunately I had a camp cot and I electronics. I had taken my microwave, so um, I was able to literally camp out in this apartment. Of course, they lost power
Mhm.
along with water. So while I was there, I had to go out and take a bucket in the water filled ditches and retrieve water to flush the commode. So you just have to live by your wits when
Mhm.
you're in a situation like that, and just take every moment, every day at a time, and do the best you can with it. So,
Yeah. So how
and then
long? Oh, sorry.
go ahead. You first. You're the interviewer.
No, I don't want to interrupt you. I was just going to say, how long was it until you could actually return back to your home?
It was at least 2 days. I had friends that lived nearby. So in order that I could deal with the aftermath, I asked one of them to go check it out, just to be sure. I said, is there a trailer there I can go back to, or is it truly gone? You know, so they were gracious enough to come and look, and then let me know that, indeed, it was still here, and there really appeared to be very little damage.
Oh,
My neighbors on either side got a lot more damage than I did. So I am extremely blessed and very grateful. I know I had a lot of people, thinking about me and praying for me. And I guess, my perception is I must have been in some kind of a prayer bubble, because in mobile home parks, you live close together, and people on either side of me had some major damage, and I had nothing, literally nothing, So, like I said, I do believe in prayer. I do believe in the power of it, and I think this was a witness. Yeah.
yeah, that's amazing that there wasn't like a lot of damage, especially like if your neighbors were hit, you would think like everything in the area would be hit the same way too.
Yep. I
Yeah.
had trailers on both sides, had roofs ripped off of them, off their sheds, off their carports. Metal peeled back like a can opener,
Mhm.
strewed all over the place. The person directly across the street from me had the same thing happen. Tore up his porch, peeled all the roof back off of it. So yeah.
Oh, that's crazy. Like that, like roofs were being ripped off. Like that's just
Hmm.
how strong that storm really was. Um,
Absolutely.
yeah.
And there was a huge oak tree in the back of my trailer that
Mhm.
fell
Wow.
away from my trailer.
Oh, really? It fell the other way.
Fell the other way.
Wow, that's incredible.
I'm telling you. I'm telling you. I was in a prayer bubble. I really was.
Well, I'm glad there wasn't that much damage for you.
Yeah. And and no one in the park was hurt. I mean, people lost a lot of stuff,
Hmm.
uh, including me. I actually lost more the week before when Helena came through.
Mm, really?
Helena caused a storm surge,
Hmm.
and we had water come through the park that was 3 feet deep.
Wow.
And I lost anything that was on the ground. A mobile home is, on wheels, so it's raised a little bit. But I had a shed that had a washer and a dryer and a little small chest freezer. All of that was killed
Mm,
with the flood. It was sitting in water,
yeah.
and my air conditioner was on the ground. It was killed. So I lost more with the flood the week before the hurricane.
Hmm.
So anyway, that's what I'm dealing with now. Well, I just now got my air conditioner back. It was just got replaced today. So
Oh, oh, nice. Oh, yeah, you were saying the air conditioner person was going to come today.
right, yep, yep. They put it in this morning while I was, working with a student from the University of South Florida. So anyway,
Oh, do you
I
work
now
with,
have these.
sorry.
I'm sorry.
Oh, I was just saying,
Go
do you
ahead.
work with students? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So and fortunately, the weather did cool down here because it had been brutally hot. So without the AC, all I had was fans, but
Mm.
it wasn't so bad. It was tolerable, So
Yeah, that's good.
yeah,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Yeah.
What?
No, I was just gonna ask, have you ever had to like evacuate like that before? Because I know Florida gets hit like a lot with hurricanes. There's like a whole hurricane season, but at least from what
I
I,
have.
yeah.
Yeah, I have evacuated before, and just the gentleman who had the truck, he and his wife live fairly close by, but further away from
Hmm.
the. I live close to a river, and there's always
Yeah.
danger from water, from rivers. And so anyway, I've spent a couple, yeah, at least two storms with them, just an overnight, kind of thing till the storm passed.
Hmm.
So, but I didn't haul ass out everything, you know, because I wasn't expecting the a direct hit, and neither one of the previous storms were direct hits, but it was just a bad storm. So I have quote unquote evacuated for just overnight type things two other times before, but this is the first time I really evacuated. I mean, we had police coming through the mobile home park announcing people get out.
Hmm.
So I knew that they were serious, and I took it seriously.
Yeah. So I'm guessing most people in your area had to evacuate then.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. This is the first time that I've seen such a massive evacuation.
Hmm.
Our interstate was jam packed bumper to bumper for miles of people leaving the area. So people around here took it more seriously this time than I've ever seen in the years that I've lived here. So,
Hmm.
you know, it, it was interesting, to see that happen.
Yeah. Yeah, I actually saw like over like social media and stuff, people saying how the interstate was like so backed up they actually like couldn't even evacuate at that point because they couldn't really get out.
Exactly. I believe it. I believe it. Yeah. And the people in the more western county where I live, it's called Pinellas County. They're really living right on the Gulf,
Mhm.
and they've really had some massive damage, more so than I've ever seen. And I suspect a lot of them will leave the area. I think this probably did it for them. It
Yeah.
was just too much, you know. I
Yeah.
mean, they not only had to deal with the water and the wind, but they had mountains of sand
Well,
that was pushed ashore. I mean, they were walking, I mean, we're talking about feet of sand that clogged their roads and their houses and their automobiles and everything. It was bad. It was really bad. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, that's crazy because you don't really hear about those effects as much too. Like you hear about kind of like the like wind, the rain, but I didn't even know about like that part of it with the sand.
It looked like, if you're familiar, you're from the north, right? You're
Yeah,
familiar
from
with
New York.
northern and right. So in the wintertime when the plows come through and you have the mounds of snow piled up all over the place,
Mhm.
this is what it looked like on their streets, only it was sand.
Yeah.
They had mounds of sand that were 8 and 10 feet high.
Wow. That's insane.
Yeah, bad, bad, bad. Like I said, you muck around with Mother Nature, she's going to get even.
Yeah.
And I
Um,
think she's doing it. She's getting even. We messed around with her too much. She's going
uh,
to get back.
yeah, well, it was too like back to back, right? Because it was like Helene and then Milton right after it.
That's right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But yeah, so I guess in terms of your community, has this, I mean, it's obviously like impacted your community in a pretty big way, but has there been, I guess, any like sense of your community coming together to kind of like help each other like get things back
Oh,
to normal?
very much, very much. I think it's typical of any kind of disaster anywhere in the U.S. I mean, you think
Mm,
about the poor folks in North Carolina, the Carolinas. Those people are coming together and helping each other out as much as they can, and that happens. That happens in a disaster, and it's the same here. There were restaurants that tried to open up and feed people who
mm.
had no way to cook. Things like that. So that's been happening and still happening. It's still happening all over the place. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm curious if you've had any like efforts or joined any efforts to kind of like help things go back to normal as well.
Uh, I haven't because I have a part time position
Mhm.
with the local hospital, and they just, as soon as the storm was over with, practically ramped up their campaign to provide flu vaccines for all of the staff at
Mhm.
all the hospitals. And I have been working from 6:30 in the morning till 3:30 in the afternoon.
Wow.
And to get to some of the hospitals, I have to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning and be on the road by 5.
Yeah.
So
Oh my God.
yes, and this has been solid like every day for a while. So I haven't really had a chance to do that.
Yeah.
Um, other than like locally, like my neighbor, can I help, help with this or help with that or something like that. But beyond just who's in my immediate surroundings, I haven't had much of a chance. No, I
Mhm.
have to confess, I've been dealing with my own mess.
I mean, I feel like going and helping people with flu shots is helping uh, in a way too, because maybe some people won't be able to go out and get them like
Yeah,
on their own.
we gave over 400 yesterday.
Oh wow, that's so many.
Yes, yes, yes.
So you work.
We were like little robot machines. Shoot, 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 shoot. As soon as they sat down, they got a needle in their arm. The chair didn't even cool off. It just kept warm from all the buttons sitting on them.
I know. Well, that's reminding me that I have to get a flu shot too. So
This is true. You do.
yeah. So you work in a hospital?
I don't work in the hospital. I work for the hospital, in
Mhm.
that it is a program of the hospital for community outreach.
Oh,
And so what we do is we go out into the community and do health assessments, health evaluations, and like right now, the flu shots.
yeah. Okay. So you're helping with your community basically.
Yep, I guess you could say that. Based, and you know, I mean, what who we were vaccinating were employees of the hospital, which is
Mhm.
good. We keep them healthy. They can take care of the people who are coming in. You know,
Exactly.
yeah. So it's a chain of events, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's important for everyone, I think, to get the flu shot just in case. Yeah. So are you from Florida?
I'm sorry.
Are you from Florida?
I am a second generation Floridian.
Mm,
I am a rare breed. There are very few of us around.
really?
Most people in Florida are transplants, but no,
Yeah, I guess that's true. A lot of people move down there, right?
that's right. That's right. You find very few people who are actually born in Florida. So,
Yeah.
I was born here. My mother was born here.
Oh wow. Okay, so you must really be used to like the hurricanes and that kind of stuff that goes on.
You don't get used to those. You tolerate them.
You
You know,
tolerate that.
you tolerate them. You don't get used to them. And like I said, they have a spirit of their own, and they will do what they want. We
Yeah.
just sit there and watch and wait and prepare,
Yeah.
and they do their thing. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it is even hard for people to predict like what their path is exactly going to be. I know like it was changing even like as it was happening.
exactly, Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hurricanes are a little bit easier to predict because you can track them.
Mhm.
Very, very different than tornadoes. I've lived in areas of the country where you have tornadoes.
Yeah.
Tornadoes are very unpredictable because they hop. They
Hmm.
go up in the clouds and they come down again. They can come back on themselves. They don't necessarily follow a straightforward path. They can turn around and come back.
Wow.
So, and again, like I said, they hop. They touch down one house here, skip the next one, hit the next one, then go across the street and hit another house across the street.
Yeah.
And and you can't predict
Yeah.
where they're going to go next. They just do their thing.
Yeah.
So I'd much rather deal with a hurricane than a tornado. Much rather.
Yeah, tornadoes honestly scare me so much. Luckily, like in New York, that's not something you have to really deal with. But yeah, they're terrifying to me.
Yeah, they should be.
Yeah.
Should be. Absolutely. Um, I once read in a science magazine that the tornado, a standard tornado, has enough power to shove a straw through a telephone pole without breaking either one.
Oh my God.
That is powerful.
Yeah, that's crazy. I know even in hurricanes sometimes like there are tornadoes within the hurricane.
Oh yeah, we had with Milton that came through. They recorded a record number of radar sightings, not necessarily anything that hit the ground, but radar sightings of over 123 tornadoes
Oh wow.
during Milton.
Yeah,
Yeah,
123.
yeah, 123.
Oh my God. That's terrifying to me.
Stay where you are then.
Yeah, that's the one good thing about New York is there's not many like natural disasters.
No, no, you just have miserable winter weather.
Yeah, I'll take it for exchange.
Okay, good deal. Good deal. I've shoveled enough snow in my lifetime. I don't, if I don't have to shovel it again, that's all right with me. Yeah. At least I don't have to shovel the rain.
That's very true. Kind of just disappears.
Yes, it does. Snow does too if you wait long enough.
Yeah, if you wait long enough, yeah. Yeah, luckily, I think like Hurricane Sandy is like the only like big hurricane I could think of that happened like near New York.
Yeah. There was I it was in the 80s there was one that crossed Long Island.
Oh, really? I
Um,
didn't know that.
yeah, I was at the provincial house when it hit
Oh,
and we stayed in the house. Of course they recommended that we evacuate, but we didn't. We stayed
mhm.
in the house and lost power. And I remember all of us sitting around a camp light playing cards, and things like that. We didn't have power for several days. It took down a number of the trees along the driveway leading up to the provincial house, so we couldn't get out because the trees were across the
Yeah.
driveway. And like I said, I pulled out the we had a pretty sure it was a gas grill. So I pulled that out so we could cook off of that. So
Mhm.
yeah, but that was a hurricane that crossed over Long Island back a
Yeah.
while ago.
Yeah.
But beware, Mother Nature's still brewing things. You just might get a hurricane up there.
That's very true. Can't say it's not going to happen.
That's right. That's right.
I hope it doesn't, but we'll see.
Well, just have your camping light ready and some way to cook and store up your water and you'll be all right.
Yeah. Well, I guess, yeah, that's true. A lot of it is preparation.
It is. It really is. It really is. Yeah. 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 And it was take it anything like that. You just have to take seriously. You
Hmm.
take seriously and prepare for it. Be all right. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. I even saw people, I guess, on like social media that they didn't really seem to take it too seriously. They were just like, "Oh, I'm gonna stay here. Like, They didn't really like prepare
Yeah.
anything. They're like, oh, I'll be fine.
The That's what happened with the people that did die. We
Hmm.
had a number of deaths. They stayed put, and unfortunately, the flood caught them.
Yeah.
Once flood waters start, and that water's against your door, you cannot open it.
Hmm.
They could not get out of their houses,
Yeah.
and the water continued to rise, and they drowned. They drowned in their own homes.
Yeah, that's horrible.
Yeah, most of the people that died in the storm did drown, and because they didn't leave their homes.
Yeah.
You
I
know,
always wonder.
or else they tried to leave too late and
Hmm.
got in their cars, and their cars got trapped in the water,
Oh
and
my
then they
God.
drowned. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I always just wonder, I guess, like why people would like want to stay. I mean, I understand like some people aren't like physically able to leave or they don't have the means to leave. Um, but yeah.
But yeah, we had one gentleman here in the park. He's 90 years old. He lives alone. And apparently, I've picked up little bits and pieces of information about him.
Mhm.
And apparently, he has alienated his family
Oh,
from the sound of it. You
mhm.
know, he's a crotchety old man. And as a consequence, he was sitting here. He was not planning on leaving his trailer. And the family didn't seem interested. They didn't care that he
Hmm.
was sitting here by himself, and this horrible storm was coming,
Yeah.
and the rest of us were haul assing out of here, and he was by himself. I really, I think someone did call the police about it, and warn them that he was by himself, and no one seemed to be taking an interest in him. So I did find out that apparently there was someone from the family or a friend, I don't know for sure, finally came and got him out of his house and got him to a shelter. And
Mm.
he was fussing and moaning and carrying on the whole time.
Yeah.
But if he had stayed, God only knows what would have happened to him.
Yeah.
So he's one of those kind of people, you know.
Yeah.
You're right. And we have a bunch of old people down here. You
Yeah.
know that, don't you?
Mhm. Yeah, I know a lot of people tend to move there like later in life.
Yeah, yeah. They get a little, stubborn, and stubbornness is not a big help. It's not a
Hmm.
big help at all. So
Yeah. Well, luckily he had someone looking out for him.
he did, and he has not come back, which is just as well. He had a fair amount of damage to his home, and there's glass everywhere. And he had a couple of folks. I met them. Apparently, had befriended him
Hmm.
and were trying to clean up a little bit. And so anyway, I haven't seen them back. I just saw them once. So the trailer's just sitting there, and
Yeah.
he should go to a nursing home. He should go from a shelter to a nursing home and stay in the nursing home.
Yeah.
Hopefully, that's what has happened to him. So,
Yeah.
but time will tell. See if he shows up again. You know,
He might come back.
he might. He might. God only knows.
Oh my God.
So, what else can I tell you, dear?
Um, you know what? I think you answered most of my main questions.
Okay,
Um, yeah, I don't want to keep you for too long.
that's okay. I'm waiting. I'm waiting for my air conditioner man to come get his money.
Oh, wait, oh, really? He didn't come back yet?
Okay. I tell you what, he's here now. Okay.
Oh, okay.
So, can we say goodbye?
Yeah, that's perfectly fine. Thank you so much.
You're more than welcome. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay. Have a good
Have
day.
a good day. Bye.